and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Stabhakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stabhakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishna-The Namaha Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. After the summer recess, we have started our classes from today. We have been studying and discussing topics in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And the topic which I am dealing with now is Sri Ramakrishna, the unique teacher. I dealt with this topic in the last classes. Sri Ramakrishna's uniqueness is very significant. If you study his life and his instructions, teachings, one thing is very prominent, that is, how he would attract the spiritual aspirants towards him by love. It is divine love. Once you are drawn towards that divine love, you will never go back. It has tremendous purifying effect. It transforms one's life, and it takes the aspirant direct to the vision of God. So, here we see Sri Ramakrishna, the personification of love and compassion. He would call out, "Where are you? Please come. I want to distribute all the treasure I have got, the spiritual treasure." Sri Ramakrishna was very eager to distribute all the wealth of spiritual experiences to the aspirants. And he is openly inviting them to come. In a way, he is attracting them towards him. And people started coming towards him. They would be enraptured hearing his talks. Sri Ramakrishna was very simple, very deep. He knew all the essence of scriptures. He was self-illumined. He did tremendous spiritual sadhanas and got the highest realization. And he is telling very emphatically, everyone on this earth can realize God. God can be seen and one can accomplish in this very life. What a assuring statement. How it inspires us to do spiritual sadhana. What is needed is you have to engage yourself very definitely in spiritual practices. Then you will understand more and more the glory of God. If there is anything that is real in this world, anything that is unchanging, unshaking, stable, it is God. So, here is a master telling very clearly about the presence of God, and we need not to have any doubts regarding that anymore. It is simply waste of time debating upon whether God exists or not. It is foolishness to talk about these topics. This is not meant for argumentation. God can be seen only through hard practice, not by argumentation. No. Not by conferences. So Sri Ramakrishna here, we see how he bound all the disciples by the cord of love, and how he was meticulously following the ways, the practices done by the disciples. So, the position of a teacher of moral values is very special. Where the teachings of secular sciences is concerned, it is enough if the teacher is competent in that subject. His personal life has little bearing on his teaching capacity. He may be very good as a teacher in the school or college. But in the case of a teacher of moral precepts, practicing those precepts in his own life is absolutely necessary. That's what we find in Sri Ramakrishna. What he tells, himself has practiced it. So there is tremendous meaning and purpose in what he says, and tremendous power in what he says. When he says it goes directly into your heart. We can see some of the instances from the life of Sri Ramakrishna to show how meticulously Sri Ramakrishna practiced what he preached. That's why he became a unique teacher. Sri Ramakrishna, one of his most valuable teachings, he would very frequently say this: forbear, forbear, forbear. What a tremendous teaching it is. So, what Sri Ramakrishna is meant by this phrase, forbear, is that one should bear with all the difficulties of life without complaining. That's the value of forbearing. No complaint, just bear it. Anything that happens, bear it. To bear is the spiritual quality. To the extent you bear, to that extent you have progressed well in your spiritual journey. Once a greedy priest of the Kali temple, he became very much upset seeing Madhurnath, the owner, the proprietor of the Kali temple, a very dignified and princely person having a lot of wealth and position, power and position. That person, when he would come to Sri Ramakrishna, he was so meek, very humble. And he would be sitting at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna as a child would sit near the mother. So, he loved Sri Ramakrishna so much, he would gladly take care of his needs. Though Sri Ramakrishna would not ask anything, Madhurnath himself would provide everything that is required for Sri Ramakrishna. And he would come and meet Sri Ramakrishna many times. He would run to see him. He would long for seeing him. Such a tremendous attraction existed between him and Sri Ramakrishna. And this greedy priest was watching this situation, and he thought there must be some secret power. Probably Sri Ramakrishna might have some secret power so that this highly positioned person is coming and meeting him almost every day and taking care of him. In a way, this greedy priest had become a jealous also. So, he thought that Sri Ramakrishna had mesmerized Mathur. So he wanted to know. He came and asked Sri Ramakrishna, what is the secret? How is it that he is coming to you? And he is so humble and prepared to do anything, whatever you ask him to do. Will you please tell me the ways and methods by which you drew him towards you? Sri Ramakrishna, the personification of simplicity and humbleness, he said, well, I don't know anything about your secret power. He is coming, that's all. I am not using any power as such. I don't need to use any power. I don't need anything. You must know Sri Ramakrishna was a master of renunciation. What does he need? If you give, you are blessed because you are able to give to that highly renounced master. That's the way you should think. If you bring some things to the chapel, you must feel more blessed than thinking the other way. Whatever you do for the temple, for the chapel, that is thousandfold blessing to you. You will understand it only when you do some spiritual sadhana and when you are sufficiently pure enough in your heart to understand the subtleness of these things. Well, that greedy priest became very angry. So what he did was he simply kicked the master in anger. But Sri Ramakrishna, the incarnation of ahimsa, not hurting anybody, and personification of compassion and mercy, he never reacted to what that wretched man did. He just kept quiet. He doesn't disclose this incident to anybody for quite a long time. After a long time, in some context, he mentioned this incident. So, that's the instance, how he was bearing with all this insults, hurts. Once he was invited by a person, a devotee maybe, not a high-class devotee, a devotee. And he was in a very good position, and because he invited, Sri Ramakrishna had gone there with his disciple, Swami Brahmananji, and they visited the place. There was some festive occasion in the home. All the dignitaries had been invited for that function, and the host was deeply involved in talking to these dignitaries of the world who were pouring into his house. He was totally involved in talking to them, in showing all hospitality and so on. He never cared to show minimum courtesy to talk to Sri Ramakrishna who had come there. If anybody were in his position, probably simply would have run away from that place, having hurt feelings. But Sri Ramakrishna was not like that. He simply kept silent. Well, the man is busy with people, let him talk to them. But how far it went? Then lunchtime came, all the dignitaries who had come there were all made to sit in a particular place and for taking lunch. And Sri Ramakrishna there was nobody to show a place to Sri Ramakrishna to sit and take lunch. What a great humiliation. We talk of nirahankara, Nirahankaratvat. One of the constituents of purity is free from ego. Here you see how Sri Ramakrishna was totally free from egoism. He was not reacting in any manner. And lunchtime has come, all the people are sitting, and Sri Ramakrishna himself had to find out some place in some corner. And the disciple could not tolerate it, and he said, Sri Ramakrishna, Master, why should we stay here? Let us go. And Sri Ramakrishna was very magnanimous. He said, no, we should not go like that. Suppose we go without taking anything, it would be bad. It would be bad for the householder here, for the host. It's not good. Let us take something and go. See that attitude. When he was totally free from ego, then you will see how the true manifestation of love functions. That is divine love. That is divine love. And how much he bared all these things. He didn't react. He was calm, tranquil. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Lord Krishna says in the Gita. One who is tranquil, he is said to be a yogi. Here you find Sri Ramakrishna, who was extremely calm under provoking circumstances and situations. And it is this divine love that attracted Narendranath, who became very famous as Vivekananda in the later years. Sri Ramakrishna's one look was enough to conquer the most strong person of the time, Narendranath. He was educated in the modern system. He knew very well English. And he had studied all the religions of the world. A strong body, strong mind, strong as thunderbolt. Vajra, like Vajravat. Swami Vivekananda's constitution was made of Vajra. That's why he could come without penny to America. Who could come like that? And one look of Sri Ramakrishna was enough to totally transform Narendranath. And he became the foremost disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna himself transferred all the spiritual powers to him. Well, you need them, because you are doing the great work, uplifting the humanity, serving the humanity. You require that power. Take it. See that renunciation here also. How much practice he did to acquire those spiritual power. But all in a moment he was able to sacrifice everything. Give out everything to Narendranath. That is Sri Ramakrishna. So, Sri Ramakrishna's life and teachings must be studied in this fashion. Study them minutely. You will see how you can yourself be uplifted. Sri Ramakrishna, however, knew very well that a householder cannot be and should not be so meek in this world, where wicked people are ever itching to harm others. When you are surrounded by bad association, bad neighborhood, if you are meek, probably they will exploit you and they may destroy you. They may do harm to you. So, Sri Ramakrishna has taught the need for self-defense through the parable of the snake and the brahmacharin. Probably that story, you may know it. The snake was, the serpent was very ferocious and it would attack the people when the people would come near it, near the place where it was living. And one day the brahmacharin came and he told, why are you unnecessarily attacking and biting the people? Why should you hurt them like that? Don't do like that. And he initiated a mantra to that serpent because the holy man knew how to communicate it to the serpent, and serpent was blessed and it began to repeat the mantra given by the holy person. And because of the power of mantra, the serpent lost its ferocious nature. It has become sattvic, as it were. And people would see no more serpent coming out and biting and attacking people. So they thought, oh, now the serpent is not doing any harm. So they wanted to test it. They began to throw the stone at this serpent. Even then it would not react. It was keeping quiet. And then these teenagers, always mischievous, and they got hold of the tail of the snake and make a round number of times and threw it away. And the serpent fell down, the whole body was bruised, full of blood oozing out. Still it did not react. It kept silent. It was coming out only during night times so that it is not observed by the people, and it would take some food, whatever that was available in the woods. After some time the holy man came and was shocked to see how the serpent was hurting all over the body. And then he said, well, this is not the meaning of what I taught you. I only said, don't bite them, don't attack them, but you could have hissed at them. Hissing is all right, not biting. Hissing. So if you hiss, then they would be frightened and go away. The serpent is becoming angry, it may attack. So like that feeling, thinking that way, they will run away. So the householder should behave like that. Sri Ramakrishna says that. Because he knew the position of the householders, how they are involved in so many situations and problems and difficulties, and all sorts of people would be coming. So one has to be wise enough to deal with such people. On another occasion, Sri Ramakrishna demonstrated the same principle in a slightly different way. What he was one day doing was, he was destroying the bugs in his room in the presence of Balram Bose. He did it purposefully because Balram Bose had extreme notions about ahimsa. So he wanted to teach him a lesson. Suppose you are sitting for a meditation and if the scorpion comes and if mosquitoes come and if all sorts of things come and trouble you, how can you do any meditation at all? So there is nothing wrong in taking steps to prevent those harmful animals or insects coming and disturbing you. Anyway, Sri Ramakrishna is showing us how to be wise in our dealings and doing things. Another important feature we have observed in Sri Ramakrishna's life is that about the truth. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Truth itself is Brahman. If you practice truthfulness, that is the greatest sadhana you can do. You would realize God. Speak the truth is the most fundamental moral precept. So, Sri Ramakrishna considered that truth is God. So, while he could offer all dualities at the feet of the mother, he could not bring himself to say, "Oh mother, here is your truth, here is your untruth. Take them both and give me devotion." He would not say that. Once he had told Jatu Malik, a disciple, who lived in the neighborhood of Dakshineshwar temple garden, Sri Ramakrishna had told him that he would go to him, visit him, but he forgot about that. Later on he remembered, but it was very late in the night. But because he had told that he would go to the home of Jadu Malik, if he doesn't go, it will be a lie. So even though it was late in the night, Sri Ramakrishna went there, got the gate opened by calling the watchman, stepped into the compound just to keep his word, and then returned to his room without disturbing the people of the house at that odd hour. So, that's why you would see in the olden days, even 40, 50 years back, we could see people, whatever they say would happen. Whatever would not happen, they would not say. Whatever would happen, it would come out from their mouth. So it was like that because of their practice and regular steadiness in practicing truthfulness. What they say would come to happen. So throughout his life, another important feature which I am talking to you now, Sri Ramakrishna taught the need for renouncing lust and greed in order to realize God. Lust and greed, kama kanchan tyag. Because these are the main enemies which don't allow you at all to go towards God. So you will have distaste towards God as long as your mind is infatuated with lust and greed. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna says these are the main thing which you have to conquer. That means you have to have self-control. That's what he meant. The idea is, what is the meaning of self-control? Self means mind control. What is the meaning of mind control? Allowing the mind to dwell on God instead of allowing the mind to dwell on the things of the world. So, this teaching, Sri Ramakrishna himself had practiced it literally in his life. He practiced it literally in his life. That he worshipped Sri Sharda Devi, his own wife, as the divine mother of the universe, and that he rejected outright the offer of a huge sum of money from both Mathur and a business devotee who wanted to contribute lump sum amount to Sri Ramakrishna so that you should not have any problem in the future. But Sri Ramakrishna never touched that money. He never wanted that. Though a monarch of renunciation and an ideal for the sannyasins, Sri Ramakrishna once he severely scolded a householder devotee for having neglected his wife and children. That's a very important point we should remember. Once you are married, you are wedded, you have definitely responsibility. You can't get away from that obligation and duty. Once you are married, it means you are married for life. That is how the family union was being maintained in the olden times. Adjusting is very important in family life. Adjusting. Lot of adjustments have to be made. So, to set an example to the householders, Sri Ramakrishna himself had got prepared a pair of gold bangles for Sri Sharda Devi. And also he made arrangements for mother's stay at Kamarpukur after his demise. As regards the spiritual teacher, the scriptures have often given the qualifications one should possess as a spiritual teacher. What are the qualifications required? The Mundaka Upanishad, one of the major Upanishads, it declares that a spiritual teacher should be well versed in the scriptures and he should be absorbed in Brahman. There is another famous scripture in Tantra Shastra, the Sharda Tilaka Tantra, it's called. It's a well-known scripture in the Tantras. It defines a spiritual teacher as a man of pure disposition and self-control. He should know the true meaning of the scriptures. He should always be doing good to others and engage himself in spiritual pursuits like repetition of the divine name, worship and meditation. He should be an adept in yoga and capable of granting favor. In another text, Vivekananda by Shankaracharya, it is said, the spiritual teacher should be well versed in the Vedas. He should be sinless, unsmitten by desire, and a knower of Brahman par excellence. Who is calm like fire that has consumed its fuel, who is a boundless reservoir of mercy that knows no reason, and a friend of all good people who prostrate themselves before him. All these qualifications you can find in Sri Ramakrishna. He was a paragon of all these virtues. He knew the essence of the scriptures not only by hearing much about them from many holy people and scholars, but also by direct experience, himself practicing intense spiritual sadhanas. That's why he could throw light on abstruse topics, unintelligible to scholars, ordinary sadhakas. He constantly lived in God and knew nothing but God. He was absolutely unperturbed even in disturbing situations of life because he was absolutely unattached. There was no yogic state which had not been attained by him. He freely granted spiritual favors, especially to his disciples who had dedicated their lives for realizing God. So we find Sri Ramakrishna stands supreme among the unique teachers of the world. Whoever has come to Sri Ramakrishna, I should say, is remarkably blessed. Coming to Sri Ramakrishna means you are struggling sincerely to realize God in this life. Chapter 31, I am reading, page 614. Keshav Chandra Sen, a Brahma leader, he asked Sri Ramakrishna, "Why do I not see God?" Sri Ramakrishna said, "You don't see God because you busy yourself with such things as name and fame and scholarship. The mother does not come to the child as long as it sucks its toy, a red toy. But when, after a few minutes, it throws the toy away and cries, then the mother takes down the rice pot from the hearth and comes running to the child. You are engaged in arbitration." The Divine Mother says to herself, "My child over there is now busy arbitrating and is very happy. Let him be." In the meantime, Ishan had been holding Sri Ramakrishna's feet. He said humbly, "It's not my will that I should do those things." Master said, "I know it. This is the Divine Mother's play, her Leela. It is the will of the great enchantress that many should remain entangled in the world. Do you know what it is like? How many are the boats, O mind, that float on the ocean of this world? How many are those that sink? Again, out of 100,000 kites, at best but one or two break free. And thou dost laugh and clap thy hands, O Mother, watching them. Only one or two in 100,000 get liberation. The rest are entangled through the will of the Divine Mother. Haven't you seen the game of hide and seek? It is a granny's will that the game should continue. If all touch her and are released, then the playing comes to a stop. Therefore, it is not her will that all should touch her. You see, in big grain stores, the merchants keep rice in great heaps that touch the ceiling. Beside them, there are heaps of lentils. To protect the grain from the mice, the merchants leave trays of puffed rice and sweetened rice near it. The mice like the smell of the sweet taste of these and so stay around the trays. They don't find the big heaps of grain. Similarly, men are deluded by lust and gold. They don't know where God is. Rama said to Narad, "Ask a boon of me." Narada said, "O Rama, is there anything I lack? What shall I ask of thee? But if thou must give me a boon, grant that I may have selfless love for thy lotus feet, and that I may not be deluded by thy world bewitching Maya." Delusion. Rama said, "Narad, ask something else." Narad again replied, "O Ram, I don't want anything else. Be gracious to me and see that I have pure love for thy lotus feet." Sri Ramakrishna said, "I pray to the Divine Mother, O Mother, I don't want name and fame. I don't want the 8 occult powers. I don't want 100 occult powers. O Mother, I have no desire for creature comforts. Please, Mother, grant me the boon that I may have pure love for thy lotus feet. It is written in the Adhyatma Ramayana that Lakshman asked Rama, Ram, in how many forms and moods do you exist? How shall I be able to recognize you? Rama said, brother, remember this. You may be certain that I exist wherever you find the manifestation of ecstatic love. That love makes one laugh and weep and dance and sing. If anyone has developed such love, you may know for certain that God Himself is manifest there. Chaitanya Deva reached that state. We shall stop. Any comments you want to make, you are welcome to make. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
How can we go on?
But everybody will not do that.
Well, the message says that we should.
Message says, but all will not grasp it. Though it's a fact, all will not do.
And
Even if you say, they won't take it. No, protection in what manner? It has got different meanings in different situations. By renouncing everything you are protecting, really you are protecting yourself. Yeah. By not becoming spiritual, you are destroying yourself. Because involving yourself too much in the world means you are going away from God. Going away from God means you are groping in the darkness of ignorance. As long as you are ignorant, you are bound to suffer. So, whatever the sufferings and difficulties you are facing with are all because of ignorance in a way, are all because of your attachment towards things of the world, all because of the desire to enjoy the world. So, as long as the mind is pulled by these desires, you can't escape suffering. So, as long as you are entertaining your desires, you come under the wheel of karma, which is very, very strong. It doesn't spare anybody. Whatever you do, you reap. As you sow, so you reap. So that comes into effect. But when you renounce, what happens is you are renouncing for the love of God. You are renouncing what? You are renouncing your selfishness. You are renouncing all your earthly pleasures, so that mind could be focused totally on God. So, in order to realize God, in order to experience the vision, the whole mind must go towards Him. Then only you will have that privilege of seeing Him face to face and experience the reality. Once you realize that, what would happen? You would become the most happy person in the whole world. Yeah. After all, people are working very hard in the world. What for? To get happiness, is it not? But they are not getting happiness at all in the real way. In order to get real happiness, you have to go spiritual way. If you go spiritual way, then you get real happiness. You may be a householder, but you do it, perform everything as a duty that purifies your heart, and it makes you calm and balanced. And everything must be oriented. You must give spiritual orientation. Even though there are many household disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, they were all great devotees. Ramchandra-The, Balram Bose, how many? Innumerable. They were all very good householder devotees. They were all blessed by Sri Ramakrishna. So living the householder life means don't think you can't realize God. The thing is, if you are able to concentrate your mind, if you are able to direct your mind towards God, if you are not caught by the snare of the world, then of course you are wonderful. But how many people really try that way? That's the point. So that's why we say keep holy association, see, the more you are in the world, the more you feel the need to love God, to worship God, because you need His grace more. You need that. Every moment you are facing with problem, difficulties, and you know the value of grace. And even though you sit for 5 minutes, that 5 minutes is most valuable. So to what extent you are thinking of God is important than the quantity of time. Even though 5 minutes you are sitting, if you are sincere and honest, God will appreciate that. And you will see how He protects you. He is protecting even though you know it, even though you don't know it. But when you come to know how He is protecting you, then you will be overwhelmed. Because how many times you make mistakes, still God doesn't take any action, but on the other hand, He shows love towards you, and He gives one more opportunity to you to improve yourself, to correct yourself. So if you have that attitude of learning, then you are very near to God. As long as I live, so long do I learn. That is the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. So learning attitude must be there. Instead of becoming egoistic, become more and more humble and try to learn things. So all these things possible. First you must have some spiritual ideas to work upon. Then to the best of your capacity, spare some time to your spiritual aspect of life also. You must give attention. If you don't give any attention to spiritual aspect, it won't come by itself. Everything must be earned by practice. Everything must be earned. You have to do little practice to have whatever you want to have. So practice is important. Purusha prayatna. Anything else? Yeah? Yeah.
Can I continue?
Yeah. No. No, the point is this. You must not get lost in the name of doing the work, in the name of entangling yourself. It doesn't mean you should get lost in that. The meaning is, where is the limit? Where do you want to put the limit for earning? That's also important. You see, I had gone to a place long time back because I know them very well. They were in a moderate house, good house, moderate, good looking, good house. And they have got only one child, one daughter. And now she has gone to medical school and she is very bright, excellent. Now, after some years, again I visited the same place, but the house is different. Previously they were living in a very moderate house, very good house I am talking about. But now they are living in a palatial building. It's no doubt, I am not telling they should not live. I am not telling that. I am only telling what was the need I am telling. How many people are living there? Only 2. What a big property. Huge building with the first floor and big garden. To maintain the garden, you need at least 3-4 people to work there. That means you have to pay. You have to hire a person to take care of the frontage and so on. That means you are increasing the wants unnecessarily. That's what I mean to say. I don't mean to say don't eat. Practice renunciation. That's not the meaning of renunciation. Take what is needed, but be moderate. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Be moderate in your actions, in your thinking, in your doing. So, earning is all right, but doing duties in a proper way according to the ways of the dharma, that's what is meant. See, actually, the life which you are living is also a pathway to God. You must know that. It's called Pravritti Marg. The Nivritti Marg is the marg of the path of the renunciation. The Pravritti Marg is the marg of the pathway of the householders. And it's a really, if both husband and wife cooperate each other, adjust themselves each other, and they can do most wonderful things. They can achieve many things in this world. You can give expression to your love. You can give expression to all that is good in yourself, in both of you, and give it to the society for the betterment of the society. Do your little service whatever way you want to. That's the way of expanding yourself. Though you are in the world, you are not caught by the world. That's why they give the example of Padma Patramivambhasa, water on the lotus leaf. Live the life like that. It's easy for me to talk like that. I know that. But the ideal must be there. Ideal, you must know the ideal. You see, I was talking the other day with one devotee also. You must have some philosophy to sustain your life. Without philosophy, you will not sustain, I will tell you. Because at some point of time, you may go frustration, you may get disappointed, you may get depressed, and you may think world means nothing, God is nothing, whatever I do is the only thing, whatever I do, I can do, I will do. So like that, the thinking process will go. That's the danger. That's the danger. So, if you have philosophy, that will balance your, that's a protecting shield. You are talking about protection, philosophy protects you. Spiritual ideas protect you. You may be in the household, you may be in the home, but you are a good devotee. You are the devotee of God. You are loved by God. What is devotee? Devotee means he who is loved by God and he who loves God. That's called devotee. God loves you, you love God. God manifests in your home. What is the meaning of manifesting in your home? What is the meaning of God manifesting in your home? It means peace will be there, harmony is there, happiness will be there. Where there is peace and harmony, there God is there. If always people are quarreling in the home, what kind of home it is? What is the use of your wealth if you don't have peace in the mind, in the family? If there is no peace and harmony in the home, what is the use of your having a lot of wealth and a lot of property? It means nothing, is it not? Most valuable thing is peace. Peace. So how can you get peace? You must cherish the contentment. Well, be contented whatever you have by proper means, not by improper means. You can become a crorepati by adopting some improper method. What is the use of that ill-gotten money? Tell me. What benefit you get? No. And another point is, what is the use of building so much property? What is the use? Let the children work themselves and earn, and let them build up their confidence in life. Why should you have to struggle and build the whole property? What's the use of that? What's the use of this name, position, etc.? Why should you want recognition? Oh, I must become richer than him, like that. If you go that, it's not that you should not become. What I'm telling is, there's no limit that way. Unless you put the limit, there won't be satisfaction. And if you don't have satisfaction, you can't have peace. Ashantasya kutas sukham. So, if you want to have peace, peace is the most treasured thing. Very treasured thing. I don't know how to explain it. But I know the beauty of peace. I'm enjoying it every moment in my life. Peace is most important thing. Money is nothing, I tell you. Nothing. The more money, the more property, the more tension, the more stress you have. So many things involved in it. And you try to reason out. That is necessary, this is necessary, this is necessary, that is necessary, like that. It goes on multiplying. That's what I gave the example. A moderate house for two people, Why do you want that big house? Why do you want? Tell me. Suppose you are inviting 1,000 people and feeding them in a charity. Well, then I appreciate. Good. Just to live for 2 people, just to make a show that you are in a high place, you are earning a good money. What's the use of the showness? There's no point in exhibiting your wealth in that fashion. On the other hand, you put them in a right proper way. Help the education of the poor. Help the needy people. That is excellent. It's all there in our idea, in our Hindu scriptures. Everything is given. Whatever money you earn, keep 25% of the money for the charity. How many people really do that? Nobody does it. So, that is real. So, you have to have a budget yourself. Like, well, I am earning this much. What are the needs I require? How many people we are? Even have some margin for future things also. Even having the margin, you should be able to figure out nicely. And promotion, raising yourself, and it's all good. It's all good. But everything has got a limit. Going in a dharmic way, if you rise to a high position, it's wonderful. But rising to high position in an improper way, that's no good. That's all what we want to say. So spiritual orientation is important, and renunciation, Sri Ramakrishna himself tells, if you are a householder, you have mental renunciation. Mentally you renounce. Idea is, mind should be given to God. At least try to do little meditation, prayer, morning, evening, and instead of diverting the mind to distractions, divert the mind towards things which uplift you. That's all. That's all what we say. Anything that uplifts you, do it. That's all. Anything else? I think we shall stop. Yeah. Thank you. Very good. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire of worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is the prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. With thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred books, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.